Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another Mighty Meatia News Roundup. It is December 21st, 2023. We have, 10 days, 9 days, something like that, left in 2023. So that means next comes 2024. And you know what comes first? And we'll get to it a little bit later, but you know what comes the first day of 2024? The Epstein client list. I can't wait. As soon as it drops, I'll cover it here live and read off every one of the 150 names. It's supposed to drop on January 1st. That's when they say that we'll get the list. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Finally get to see and see what they were so afraid of. See why why we were trying to hold it or cover it up so damn bad. There's got to be a reason, right? But let's say hello, and we'll get right into it. Dog Mama, hello, hello. Fiery, hello, please. Alex Alexander, what's up, buddy? Fiery, Digger, hello. Smoking your meatloaf for Wessica. She loves it. Huh. I'll leave that right there. Husky, what's up, buddy? Omni, hello. Jason J, what's going on, buddy? HT, hello, hello. Hey, Bobby. You're not the only one, buddy. So, we're going to kick off tonight's media roundup with former Vice President Joseph Robinette Biden. Yeah, he gets lost again. Starts saluting the air and shit, or turning around and waving to the air. So, hey, Aaron, good to see you. This is our commander in chief. We're in good hands. Oh, where am I at? Where am I at? Oh, what? I'm who? Where the fuck is he going? Look at Secret Service. Like, oh my god, again. Like, this guy's an absolute joke. Huh? What? Where do I go? God, that would be funny. That would be funny. Oh, we have that clip. We'll get there. We'll get there. Beautiful. I don't know about scene, but what's up, Neo? Hey, Shenny. But he's got the pep in his step. I think the word you're looking for is PEDs. Because they're definitely shooting him up, so he can still give speeches and stuff like that. So from moron in chief to something that should piss everybody off. Breaking: federal judge blocks California law that would have banned carrying firearms in most public places. So, like I said, this is a copycat league anymore, and you start to see copycats of states. So New Mexico is the first one, and now we're starting to see other states. Thankfully, we still have a judicial system that hopefully can put some distance between us and continue to block unconstitutional things like this, because this is scary. That is true. That is very true. But that's not hard to do either. So from one, hey Daisy girl. So from one ridiculous ruling to another one. New York to consider reparations for descendants of enslaved people. We've had this debate back and forth before, and we've covered other articles. I don't think that just because you are who you are, that you should have any reason to get paid for the people that came before you. But New York Governor Kathy Hochul signed a bill into law Tuesday establishing a commission in New York State dedicating to exploring reparations as a means to address the enduring detrimental consequences of historic slavery. This move follows precedent set by similar task force in California and Illinois. Again, it is a copycat world. We copy what we can get away with. Enacted in June by state legislators, the law mandates that the commission thoroughly address the historic institution of slavery, which was officially eradicated in New York by 1827, and analyze its lasting impact on the present-day well-being of Black residents in the state. How many of those residents were there 200 years ago? It's nearly 200 years. Nearly 200 years. Hey, what's up, amazing? 200 years. The lesson I learned at a young age was sometimes moving the ball down the field takes more time, but the goal is always worth pursuing, Hochul said. I'm sharing this because I want New Yorkers to know small steps in my development. Many of us grew up in very homogeneous communities, all Black, all brown, all Asian, all white. And sometimes it's just difficult to expand beyond that, to embrace differences in experiences so foreign to us, so different. Understanding each other takes work, and we rarely get it all right at once. But I say this, it's essential that we try. Compromising 9 members, the commission is obligated to present a comprehensive report within a year after its inaugural meeting. While the recommendation may encompass potential financial reparations, it's important to note that they will not be legally binding, as legislation would have to be passed. The primary objective of the Commission's finding is to catalyze policy alterations, initiatives, and projects aimed at ameliorating the adverse effects of slavery and fostering positive change. Oh, we're not watching an hour of her speech on reparations. So, yeah. I mean, exactly. Well, I know what she means, but, you know. What do you guys think? Reparations? Should we be giving reparations to people nearly 200 years ago? And where does it stop? Where does it stop? I vote no. No reparations for anyone. We all had shitty times in this country, and things were bad for certain groups, and you have to rise above it and become, better than that. I've always been a proponent that the entire Native American thing is terrible. It's terrible for the people. It's terrible for individuals that are on reservations. It just gives you a reason to, it lacks the motivation to make yourself a better person. And we see that all the time, especially on reservations and stuff like that. I've seen it firsthand. So, but yeah, I am not pro reparation ever. So, moving on. Breaking: EU leaders failed to agree on a 50 billion euro aid package for Ukraine and on renegotiation of the EU budget, EU officials say. So the European Union's out, at least for now. They're gonna not continue to give aid to Ukraine. Maybe the first one to step off that. Kind of interesting. Kind of interesting how the tide's starting to turn. We'll see when people have to start fighting for their own countries and their own wars, how much support they'll continue to get. Assimilations always should be the goal. It 100% always should be the goal. There's no benefit to not assimilating to the culture that you're coming to. So, right. Absolutely. I 100% agree. So, but moving right along, Sandra Day O'Connor, Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, late Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, was laid in the where they lay the bodies of important people. You know what I'm talking about. You know the thing. Hey, what's up, Alex? And this young lady, not a Pfizer poster child. Not a Pfizer poster child. Just, you see what I mean. Not a good look. Sure, that's exactly what it was. It's a dead lady. So, I mean, yeah, it was odd. Take it for what you will. I know, right? It's, I mean, there's a dead Supreme Court justice, and she's got to make it all about herself. Typical woman. Typical lady. Kind of disgusting, if you ask me. Even worse than somebody passing out was seeing Sandra Day O'Connor. Heels Up went to visit too. There is sound, they just don't say anything. They don't say anything at all. It's very silent, somber. Truly, there's no volume. I mean, there is volume. The volume's up. There's just no volume. Like, there's nothing being discussed. So that was the vice president and the second gentleman paying respects to Sandra Day O'Connor. She passed a while ago, like 2 weeks ago. No. The other guy collapses too? No shit. Wow. Right back to America's favorite former Vice President Joe Biden. He gave an interview with Conan O'Brien. And yeah, this is pretty disgusting. I hope nobody just ate.
But by the way, the new Corvette is coming out electric, 0 to 60, 2.9 seconds.
You gonna drive that one?
I'm going to give it a shot. But by the way, the new Corvette is coming out electric, 0 to 60, 2.9 seconds.
You gonna drive that one?
0.9 seconds.
I'm going to give it a shot.
I wanted to play it twice. 2.9 seconds. I wrote the damn bill. So anyways, I mean, this is fake? No, this is real. This is real. He what's his name? Conan O'Brien did an interview with the president. I can sniff him. I can sniff him. All right, to another thing for my buddy Fiery Red. Fiery, what the hell are you guys doing with this whole flag thing? So they're replacing the flag because apparently this is racist and terrible and exclusionary and blah blah blah, and that's going to be the new Minnesota flag supposedly. I don't know. Some people were stating that it was very. This isn't me. This is just. I'm just telling you what I read. Don't shoot the messenger. Some people are saying it looks an awful lot like the Somali flag. Somali flag. Holy shit! They weren't kidding. Somalia flag. Minnesota flag. Somali flag. Minnesota flag. I don't know. They're going to continue to take away our culture until we start pushing back. Speaking of pushing back, I haven't seen anything official on this. This is just coming out from Leading Report about an hour ago. So when there's more actual information on it, I will certainly let you know. But breaking Supreme Court could overturn hundreds of January 6 cases, including the case against Donald Trump. And here's a lengthy article, but there's not a lot of substance to it. Oh, Fiery. So you mean like
Nazi fags?
Those ones. That flag. They do. Yeah, and it's kind of a boring flag. If you want to redesign it because it's new and you want to do something different, but to appease people, I'm kind of getting sick of that shit. I just report. I have no political leanings on this. I don't really care. But this is apparently big news today. Ivanka Trump visit the Western Wall. I'm just reporting. I don't take a side. Just wanted you guys to know. So, moving on. Breaking. Humans may be fueling global warming by breathing, according to studies. So can you guys stop breathing? Because you're affecting global warming. And it's kind of disgusting. Mm-hmm. I'm just putting it out there. All right. So stop breathing. Breaking, and this just happened a couple days ago, about a week ago. Jury awards Georgia election workers $148 million in a defamation case over lies that Rudy Giuliani spread about them. So Giuliani is yet another political adversary that has to pay 148 million, even though it's been pretty much proven that there was abnormalities with the Georgia election to the point where there might be some intervention. So I don't know how they continue to get away with it, but it's above my pay grade. Back to Kamala. She's announcing a pro-abortion tour. That's what I'm saying. That's a good idea.
Hey everyone, so I have some news. We're heading back out on the road. This time we are going to start our Fight for Our Reproductive Freedoms tour. We're going to start in Wisconsin. We're going to be organizing. We're going to be gathering. We're going to be building coalition and community to fight for reproductive freedom. There is a full-on attack in our country against the ability of people to just make decisions about their own body and their life. So join me. I will see you soon, and take care.
Oh, where's
Hey
it at?
everyone,
Where's
so
it
I
at?
have
No,
some
no,
news.
stop,
We're
stop.
heading back out on the road. This time we are going to start our Fight for Our
Do I not have it
Reproductive
anymore?
Freedoms tour. We're going to
All
start
right,
in
act like that didn't
Wisconsin.
play.
We're gonna
Oh,
be
there we go.
organizing, we're gonna be gathering.
All right, it wasn't as funny because I was slow on the trigger. So Trump is not taking this laying down. This was from his Iowa speech that we played the other day, but
They come from Africa. They come from Asia. They come from South America, but not just South America. They're all over the world. They dump them on the border and they pour into our country, and nobody's there to check them. And the Border Patrol is incredible, by the way. They want to do it, but they're told not to do their job. It's crazy what's going on. They're ruining our country. And it's true. They're destroying the blood of our country. That's what they're doing. They're destroying our country. They don't like it when I said that. And I never read Mein Kampf. They said, oh, Hitler said that in a much different way. No, they're coming from all over the world, people all over the world. We have no idea. They could be healthy. They could be very unhealthy. They could bring in disease that's going to catch on in our country, but they do bring in crime. But they have them coming from all over the world. And they're destroying the blood of our country. They're destroying the fabric of our country. They come from Africa. They come from Asia. They come from South America.
oh, it restarted. That was almost a perfect loop. Oh, I know. Never. Oh, is that where she's going? Is Milwaukee? So that's former President Donald J. Trump. Hopefully never future president Nikki Haley is making some wild accusations, trying to link Hamas to Russia, because of course you gotta do that to be able to attack Russia. So this is brilliant.
Remember when I told you Putin hit rock bottom? Hamas invaded Israel and did all that brutality on October 7th. October 7th is Putin's birthday. Who's the happiest person in the world right now? Putin. Why? Because the US and the West took all their eyes off of Ukraine, and what did we do? Started looking at Israel. Did Putin call Netanyahu? Nope, not for 10 days. You know who he did call? Hamas. They came the next day and they held hands and said they were friends. We now know the Russian intelligence is what helped Hamas know how to get through that barrier. See the connection. If we supported Ukraine and supported Israel, that's only 5% of our defense budget.
That's one hell of a stretch that Putin did it because it was his birthday. He encouraged one country to invade another sovereign country. So I think this guy's worse than well, damn, just about anybody. this John Kirby guy is really starting to just get on my nerves. What's up, Jacob? So here's Kirby talking about the
More American hostages remain held by Hamas, and does the Herzog comment suggest a pause in hostage release are imminent?
As far as we can tell, and I'll caveat this as I have many times, our knowledge is not perfect, but we think there's still about 8 Americans that are still being held hostage, with some 140 total that we believe Hamas and other groups hold. I don't have an update for you on the progress of talks to try to get another humanitarian pause in place so that we can get hostages out. We continue to work this literally by the hour.
Not any more American hostages.
he's pretty much worthless at this point. So stunning. New Supreme Court filing seeks to strip special counsel Jack Smith of illegal authority. A new court filing may derail the Biden administration's effort to politically prosecute former President Donald Trump ahead of the 2024 election. Former Attorney General Ed Meese, Professor Gary Lawson, and Steve Calabrese have petitioned the Supreme Court for a writ of certiorari, arguing that the private person Jack Smith was never properly appointed as special counsel. This would declare all the legal acts null and void. The two well-known constitutional experts and former Reagan-era Attorney General have given persuasive legal argument that only Congress can create offices subordinate to the Attorney General under U.S. regulations regulating the Department of Justice. Because Smith was employed immediately by current Attorney General Merrick Garland, the proper constitutional procedure of nomination by the President and full approval by the United States Senate was never followed. The trio claimed the language of the petition to the Supreme Court that Smith's varied legal activities under color of law can only be taken by persons properly appointed as federal officers to properly created federal offices. Neither Smith nor the post of special counsel that purports to hold fits those requirements. And whatever one thinks of the defendant or the behavior at issue in the underlying case, this is a serious test for the American rule of law. Legal reporter Julie Kelly pointed out the stunner of a legal filing. So the Supreme Court is going to be instrumental in saving this country if we're going to continue on the pathway. They're going to have some serious rulings, and they're really going to have to stick their necks out. And God, I hope they have the balls to do it. I question if they do, but I'm hopeful that they do. Because there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe that could be instrumental to us surviving and not moving into that other thing. This is just cute and funny. I like that they do this. I like that NORAD tracks and all that good stuff. Pentagon on plans to escort Santa Claus. Unfortunately, that's controlled and classified information, but I can assure you that we will ensure Santa gets wherever he needs to go safely and securely. NORAD will have much more information to provide on Santa's trip. I just think this is kind of cool. You can take it or leave it. I just think it's kind of neat that they do this.
Thank you.
So
Let me go to Jeff Schogel.
Thank you. Can the Defense Department provide a breakdown of assets and personnel that will be involved in escorting Santa Claus on December 24th and 25th? Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Unfortunately, that's controlled unclassified information. But I can assure you that we will ensure that Santa gets wherever he needs to go safely and securely. But all joking aside, I know that our teammates at NORAD, Northcom will have much more information to provide on Santa's trip this holiday season. So, sure he'll be on time in place for Christmas. So thank you. All right, let me come back to the room here. Carla?
don't listen to Canadians. They're wrong. They're wrong. Yeah, which one do you want to invade? All right, moving on. If you've never looked, NORAD does a whole tracking Santa thing. It's pretty cool. So, if you got little guys. But
Let me begin by wishing you all a very Merry Christmas. Remember the word? Remember? We started 5 years ago, and I said, you're going to be saying Christmas again, and we say it proudly again, although they'll be trying to take that word again out of the vocabulary. We're not going to let them do that. Let me be.
I echo the sentiment of President Trump. Merry Christmas, everybody. So this is an interesting dynamic. You see, well, if he goes to Chicago, maybe, you see different demographics that would previously have never even been close to voting for a Republican candidate or voting red, in areas that have been blue historically forever. You're starting to see them flip a little bit. You're starting to see just a little bit of change, and this is an individual that's very fed up, and I think he has a pretty good message. So,
how do you justify leaving the amount of people on the streets that are out here? And you building tents, warm tents, to house 2,000 illegals? I went from tent to tent. Some of these people are veterans. How do you justify people being homeless at this rate?
We're seeing increased taxes. We're struggling to pay our mortgages. We're struggling to pay our bills. And we have thousands of dollars every month, millions of dollars, $500 million this year to support foreign nationals. And that's coming out of our pocket. It's going to people from another country, from foreign nationals. Those countries have to take care of their people. We just don't have the resources. You know, it's nothing against them, but we just don't have it. You know, we're struggling. This is government oppression at its
hey, Matt, how's it going, buddy?
Veteran myself, I just talked to a veteran in this tent right here. You know, we're seeing people who have given their all to their country, and we just cast them out by the expressway with the trash. This is unconscionable, and it's unconstitutional. Meanwhile, we have to follow every law. We can't go over the speed limit without getting a ticket.
Hey, P.
But people can violate federal law, and we come in and roll out the welcome mat. I give them our home equity, give them our
hey, Rosalind.
They get the best.
Hey, Flux,
schools.
if you're here.
Meanwhile, some like 90% of Black children are not reading, writing, and doing math.
Okay, I'll look at it.
But they do it all under the guise of this fake diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. We just need to start voting differently. We need to start pulling ourselves out of these government institutions, starting with the public school system. We need to move on from big government and from the city of Chicago's political machine.
This is taken away from American citizens, American children who are already struggling academically. You're going to bring in a new group of children, a new group of people, take those resources away from Americans to accommodate this new group of people. That is going to make the children going to fall further behind. Unemployment is going through the roof.
Hey, what's up, Flux?
Crime.
Thanks for the raid.
This is going
How you doing?
impact our communities across this city to the point to where violence, murder, robbery is going to spike. Not just with Americans, but also with these people coming here. 3,000 illegal immigrants are living in this factory, almost a half a block long. And this is going to transcend into public housing. They keep saying that there will be no public housing for illegal immigrants. That's not true. So we pay to be homeless, basically, now as United States citizens. We're going to flip Chicago red. The Democratic Party is done in Chicago, and that's a fact. By summer, you think it's a lot of them coming in. You watch the uprising of red in Chicago.
That's just unconscionable to think about. And we'll get back to the immigration because Digger sent me a clip that, yeah. So we gotta go through it. But we'll get back to the immigration issue. But man, like, who would have thought that you have people in the community saying, screw the Democratic Party, like, you're done, because it's gotten that bad. Like, they've taken advantage of the situation that bad, where there's entire blue cities that have been blue for eternity, that have just had enough. And I, for one, I wish it didn't get that bad. I wish it wasn't that bad where people had to go through that struggle and that pain. But at the same time, hopefully we can start flipping it and making things better. I think it starts with Donald Trump. I think it starts with whoever succeeds Donald Trump, because it's going to take more than 4 years, and we're going to have to move it along. But it's good to see. It's nice to see people are finally waking up to the Democrat plantation and saying enough. This is a send-in from our favorite digger. Apparently, COVID killed Santa Claus. So we're gonna watch and probably be pissed. This is how it starts. The wave of change begins with community members take leadership and start speaking up for those who won't. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And we need to be warm and welcoming to them. And the same thing with the immigration issue. You have to assimilate to our value system. We're not going to compromise our values, and you get to continue to get free shit and handouts because that's the way that it breaks. You have to assimilate to our system of government and our way of doing things. And it's obviously bad enough where you want to give it a shot. So you have to be willing to not only come over and we'll welcome you with open arms, but you have to assimilate to our form of government, our form of governance, and the way that we do things, or it's not going to work. But I feel like this is going to piss me off. So thank you, Digger.
'Twas the night before Christmas. Santa took a deep breath. If only he'd known it would lead to his death. Santa always listened when the famous doctor spoke. Too bad they
Invade
didn't
Canada.
mention that the virus spreads like smoke.
Joyless leftists kill Santa with COVID to push masks and vaccines.
Wow, that's cute. Thanks for that, Digger. I was just starting to be happy, and you send some shit like that. You also can't let fringe issues of abortion and mass take the headlines and create divide where there's common ground and each other can meet in the middle. Exactly. Abortion is a losing issue. We all have our own philosophical abortion thoughts and debates, but it can't be a common issue. People don't want to deal with it. It's a states' rights issue. Well, I got smacked down pretty quickly, so I won't do that again. So back to the immigration. Since Canada's killed Santa Claus, bastards. We can't say enough. They're not migrants. They're criminals. They don't belong in this country. They've crossed illegally. They should not be sheltered. They should not be fed, and they should not be processed. They should be treated as thieves. I just want you to look at. These are not. I mean, we'll just watch it. There's just lines of military-age men coming from around the world to invade our southern border, and it needs to stop. No, and I feel like I don't want to.
There's some movers came back on the bridge.
What? Like, just lines of them. They're just coming in, like, just flowing in like water. It's insanity. And this is nonstop. Just nonstop. here's another one. Faux news is getting in on it. The Bureau of Prisons have sent personnel. Texas has criminalized it. There's stuff starting to be in place, but it's I think we're a little too late, but this is also infuriating.
Well, Neil, the situation at the southern border has got so bad that multiple sources tell me Federal Bureau of Prisons personnel have been sent down here to help Border Patrol with transportation of illegal immigrants. The Bureau of Prisons confirming this for me in a statement just 30 minutes ago, where they confirm they are providing transportation resources, and they tell me those resources are, quote, limited. We'll show you why they're doing it. Take a look at this video in Eagle Pass as we speak right now. Our drone live above Eagle Pass, where still today masses of migrants are waiting to be apprehended by Border Patrol, waiting to be processed after they crossed illegally. As of this morning, Border Patrol in that sector had more than 5,000 migrants in custody already, and we're still trying to transport and process another 4,500. We're talking almost 10,000 migrants they've been dealing with in the last couple of days. City of Eagle Pass only has a population of 30,000. You can imagine the impact it's having on that town, and that is why Governor Abbott decided he felt he had to take action.
Yeah, I mean, you should have taken action a long time ago, and I'm seeing that these camps now are at, you know, numbers to 10 to 14,000, 15,000 people per day that are just voluntarily turning themselves in because they just get in line, get processed into the states, and moved around. Oh, really? I'll look it up in a minute. I do too. Free Santa. And then you take the flip side of that. This is what our government, this is what the people in the levers of power think about the migrants.
And what we're seeing here at the border, the migration flow, increased migration flow, certainly it ebbs and flows. And we're at a time of the year where we're seeing more at the border. And it's not unusual. This is an immigration system that has been broken for decades. And the president has taken this very seriously to try to do more. And what we're
Yep, he's taking it very seriously. So seriously that, again, we turn to this asshole.
Has President Biden seen photos and videos from the past week of the sea of people crossing into this country illegally? I understand he's probably been briefed on it, but he's seen photos and videos of it actually happening.
I can't attest to what the content is of the material he gets every day, but he has been kept apprised and briefed, of course, by the domestic and national security teams on this. But what's in that content? I mean, I'm not part of those discussions.
Has President Biden seen photos
Of course,
and
why would he
videos?
be part of those discussions? Because those discussions are not happening. They're not happening at all. The immigration system is out of hand. That is the number one thing that we have to get a handle on, because it is out of control at this point. So here is, I'm sure you guys all heard of this. I wanted to cover it. I think that there's a pretty good chance that this could be a PSYOP. It's just an odd situation. But so if you haven't heard about it, the presidential motorcade with Joe Biden was in it, or walking out of his campaign location. A car collided with the motorcade. So here's a couple different views. So there's,
why are you losing to Trump in the polls?
we're in the wrong polls. They didn't really move that quick, honestly. Hey, what's up, Vices? So I've worked with Secret Service before, and the fact that they didn't already have the president out of that situation is odd to me. Again, it looks like it could be, I mean, take your pick. Apparently this gentleman was drunk, but there's a hell of a lot of police presence there. to free car. Free the car. Free the car. There's a hell of a lot of police presence around those things. It's not like he made an accident getting into there. So here's the other angle of it. Car plows into Biden's motorcade.
Hey, don't.
So there wasn't a lot of response to it. Normally you'd get the president out very, very quickly. He probably had an accident in the car. That's what I'm saying. That was incredibly slow on the reaction time.
Hey, don't.
So I don't know. Take it for what you will. I haven't heard a ton about it, so it's probably, for the most part, resolved. So now we're going to go on the Trumpster, and we got a couple different things. I know I covered it specifically the other night, but a couple things have happened since. California Lieutenant Governor Eleni yeah, you can read, urged Secretary of State to explore every legal option to remove Trump from California's 2024 ballot. Like I said, this will continue to happen. They'll continue, different states will continue to push to remove him from the ballot. They're afraid of him. He's leading every single poll, so on and so forth. So, Vivek Ramaswamy has pledged to withdraw from the Colorado GOP unless Trump is also allowed on the state ballot. Additionally, he's demanded that DeSantis, Christie, Haley do the same. The GOP has said they'll change the system so it won't be the exactly. They said it will be they'll caucus it instead of having a primary vote because they're not going to play the games. So, but here's Ramaswamy's statement based on it. So
they have just tried to bar President Trump from the Colorado ballot using an unconstitutional maneuver that is a bastardization of the 14th Amendment to our U.S. Constitution. This was a provision, Section 3, that was designed to bar Confederate members, people who switched to the Confederacy, from actually being able to serve. That's very different than what's at issue here, to say the least. This is a hollowed out husk of what the country was built on. The basic principle that we, the people, select our
nice ass bus,
not the unelected elite class in the back of palace halls. That's old world Europe, not the United States. That's why I'm making a pledge today that I will withdraw. I pledge to withdraw from the Colorado GOP primary ballot unless and until Trump's name is restored. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Chris Christie and Nikki Haley do the same thing, or else these Republicans are simply complicit.
Looked it up, $1 billion coach. I don't doubt it. That's a nice
on the way we
bus.
conduct our constitutional republic. I refuse to be complicit in that. I think what they're doing is wrong. And I think it's up to Republicans to step up and stand up with a spine for our country's future. That's really what's at stake, whether we, the people, actually have a say in deciding who leads this country. Yes, it would be easier for other Republicans like me who are running in this race to say, hey, if Trump is sidelined, there's our opportunity. No doubt other candidates are probably privately celebrating with their corporate sponsors. That's not the right thing to do. I think the most useful thing that every GOP candidate can do right now is to join me in that pledge. I'll say that I will withdraw from that Colorado GOP primary ballot until Trump's name is restored. This belongs to the people, not to the unelected Democratic cabal of judges in Colorado or any other state. And I demand that Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Chris Christie do the same thing, or else they're complicit in what this security state is trying to do to shut down Trump. I stand by that, and I expect them to do the right thing.
All right, so I expect Chris Christie to drop out of the race like hours ago, weeks ago, months ago. There's got to be a cheeseburger deal in it for him. There's got to be. That's the only reason I can think that he's still around. So this is the official statement from the Trump campaign on the Supreme Court ruling. It's released on December 19th, 23. Unsurprisingly, the all-Democrat appointed Colorado Supreme Court has ruled against President Trump supporting a Soros-funded left-wing group scheme to interfere in an election on behalf of crooked Joe Biden by removing President Trump's name from the ballot and eliminating the rights of Colorado voters to vote for the candidate of their choice. Democratic Party leaders are in state of paranoia over growing dominant lead President Trump has amassed in the polls. They've lost faith in the failed Biden presidency and are now doing everything they can to stop the American voters from throwing them out of office next November. The Colorado Supreme Court issued a completely flawed decision tonight, and we will swiftly file an appeal to the United States Supreme Court and a concurrent request for a stay of this deeply undemocratic decision. We have the full confidence that the U.S. Supreme Court will quickly rule in our favor and finally put an end to these un-American lawsuits. Stephen Chang, Trump campaign spokesman. That's what I'm saying. That could have been what caused the volcano in Iceland. Is Chris Christie dropping out? Potentially. So this next story, this broke this afternoon. This is another one that we have to let some time develop. Hey, what's up, Forbidden? I didn't even see you. First time. This one's just kind of breaking this afternoon. So when we get more information, I'm sure this will be in the upcoming impeachment hearings, which I will cover right here live after the first of the year. But Biden exchanged emails with his son Hunter's business associates 54 times while he was serving as vice president, per NBC. Some of the messages were sent around the time that the elder Biden was traveling to Ukraine and his son was working for a Ukrainian gas company. And this was President Biden on December 6th. And again, the original reporting was from NBC. So not a bastion of right-wing conservatism. There seemed to be a plan here.
There's polling by the Associated Press that shows that almost 70% of Americans, including 40% of Democrats, believe that you acted either illegally or unethically in regards to your family's business interests. Can you explain to the Americans, amid this impeachment inquiry, why you interacted with so many of your son and brother's foreign business associates?
I'm not going to comment on that. I did not, and it's just a bunch of lies.
You didn't interact with many of their business associates?
I did not. There's lies.
You heard it from the man himself. They're lies. It's all lies. No truth to it. There's lies. But now there's documents saying 54 times. This is the clip that you've all been waiting for. Heels up. This is the most election of our lifetime. No, I didn't read that wrong. Listen. Maybe. Let's hit the refresh button.
The election cycle, we talk about.
Why is it being funny? There we go.
You know, every election cycle, we talk about this is the most election of our lifetime. Lawrence, this one is. We are literally talking about people who are attempting to divide our country in the most crude, frankly, and profound way. We are talking about those who are intent and purposeful to attack fundamental freedoms, be it the freedom to make a decision about your own body, the freedom to love who you love openly and with pride, the freedom to be free from fear of violence and hate, the freedom to just be, You know, every election.
Her speechwriter. I mean, that's it. Her speechwriter. Anyways, just in. So we're moving past the politics into the war news. Just in, U.S. considering possible military strikes against Houthi rebels in Yemen. This is going to be the next one that breaks off, and we'll go into the why. But this is truly concerning because The tensions there are getting hotter and hotter, and should be, buddy. Tensions there are getting hotter and hotter, and it seems like we're going to get messy. So this is the why. So this is from Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin on ensuring freedom of navigation in the Red Sea. The recent escalation in reckless Houthi attacks originating from Yemen threatens the free flow of commerce, endangers innocent mariners, and violates international law. The Red Sea is a critical waterway that's been essential to freedom of navigation and major commercial corridor that facilitates international trade. Countries that seek to uphold the foundational principle of freedom of navigation must come together to tackle the challenge posed by this non-state actor launching ballistic missiles at uncrewed aerial vehicles at merchant vessels from many nations lawfully transiting international waters. This is an international challenge that demands collective action. Therefore, today I'm announcing the establishment of Operation Prosperity Guardian, an important new multinational security initiative under the umbrella of the Combined Maritime Forces and leaderships of its Task Force 153, which focuses on security in the Red Sea. Operation Prosperity Guardian is bringing together multiple countries to include the United Kingdom, Bahrain, Canada, France, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Seychelles, and Spain to jointly address security challenges in the southern Red Sea and Gulf of Aden, with the goal of ensuring freedom of navigation for all countries and bolstering regional security and prosperity. So, I couldn't watch it. I saw it. I went to go watch it, and I just couldn't. It just wasn't going to happen. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. But I will at some point. I will at some point. All right. So moving on. Thousands of pro-Palestinian protesters are marching through Philadelphia. We'll watch just for a moment. This is just...
Yeah, so currently there's probably over 1,000, probably more protesters are marching through the streets of Philadelphia. Things got a little bit chaotic for probably about like 5 minutes ago with police and everything. So I'll just be recording for a little bit just in case it gets intense again. So.
And we'll go over to another one. Pro-Palestinian protesters shut down LAX airport, causing significant traffic congestion. And this was about a week ago, right after the last installment. And this was kind of a big deal because they shut down quite a bit of the area. And you've seen them all over. They continue to have the Free Palestine marches everywhere. Like I said, not taking a side on the conflict, but eventually that shit's got to stop. People are getting frustrated with it. But here's some more bad news for the United States. Russia gets rid of U.S. bonds, only $31 million in October of 23. Russia has reduced its holding of U.S. government debt by 50%. And U.S. debt used to be profitable, but as we get closer and closer to failure, it becomes less and less advantageous to hold that debt. So Russia cuts its holding of U.S. government debt by 50% from $73 million in September to $31 million in October, according to the latest documents released by the U.S. Treasury. The amount $31 million in August, $29 million in July, $33 million in June, $36 million in May, $35 million in April, blah, blah, blah. Long-term Russian U.S. Treasury stood at 28 million, and short-term stood at 3. And it's been selling U.S. bonds since 2018. Once a major holder of U.S. government debt began selling U.S. Treasury in the spring of 2018. In April of 2018, Russia holdings almost halved from about 96 billion to about 48 billion. So you look at it, and they started at 96 billion, and now we're down to 31 million. So, I mean, that's quite a bit. Every Eastern country is dumping their holdings in the U.S. and they're down something like 960-ish billion and still selling off. Yeah. Yep. Japan remains the largest holder of U.S. government debt as of June 23 with about 1.09 trillion, followed by China with 769.6 billion, which China has been cutting their U.S. debt pretty ridiculously as well. And the United Kingdom with 693 billion. Midstream Grift, please hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Mighty Meat thumbs up. Hell yeah. And one more on the war news front. So, oh shit, I have the sound for this. It's got to be here somewhere. Do I not? Oh.
Little Rocket Man.
Little Rocket Man is getting all pissy again. Kim Jong-un will not hesitate to use nuclear weapons if nuclear provocation proceeds. This is always terrifying, even if it is. So, DPRK conducted a launching drill of an intercontinental ballistic missile called Hwasong-Fo 18 to show its toughest retaliation and overwhelming strength against mounting military threats from U.S. and South Korea. The state news agency said on Tuesday, and it's supposed to be a pretty good size warhead. So not the normal from NOCO. It looks like it's going to be a much bigger issue. Like they're making advancement in technologies. So that's always concerning. But Fat Manoon. For his little peepee? Yes. Yes. So we're about to go to Twisted Fucker Corner. So if you're not into some of the things we cover here, now's the time to don't want to ever tell anybody to leave, but if you're sensitive to these type of things, come back in like 20 minutes. So because we got some bad ones today. We'll start off with man charged with murder in California road rage incident that killed 4-year-old boy. It is Ketchup Corner. I'm sorry, Bobby. I need to make like a stinger so then I can just not have to say it. Los Angeles, California County District Attorney George Gascon, piece of shit, today announced that Byron Burkhardt is charged in a road rage shooting that killed 4-year-old boy who was traveling in a motor vehicle with his mother and his father Friday evening in Lancaster. Our hearts ache for the tragic loss of a young life and such a devastating and senseless act of road rage, LA District Attorney Gascon said. A family is facing unimaginable pain, which should be a joyous time at this holiday season. Burkhardt is charged with 1 count of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, 1 count of shooting at an occupied vehicle, and 5 counts of a possession of a firearm by a felon. Wait a minute, are you telling me gun laws don't work? No. On December 15th, Burkhardt was traveling with his girlfriend when he allegedly cut off the victim's vehicle while they were driving on the 44,600 block of Sierra Highway in Lancaster. The victim's father was driving the other car. Burkhart allegedly engaged in aggressive driving maneuvers and road rage. Burkhart allegedly pulled alongside the victim's vehicle where he used the firearm to fire 8 shots into the car. The 4-year-old boy was in the backseat of the car, was struck once. The other 2 passengers were not struck by gunfire. The boy was transported to a nearby hospital where he died. The victim's vehicle camera allegedly captured Burkhart's vehicle's license plate during the incident. Probably now. I might have that. I'm not sure. Trigger warning. Oregon pastor charged with rape of multiple juveniles, maybe more victims. This guy looks like a piece of work. Hillsborough, Oregon. Washington County Sheriff's Office violent crimes detectives arrested 46-year-old Seferino Tosi on charges originating from allegations of SA. The charges stem from a 2-month joint investigation with Canby Police Department. Detectives identified multiple juvenile victims during the investigation, and the case is still ongoing. Detectives believe Tosi's victims attended Missionary Memorial Church in Aurora, Oregon, where he worked as a pastor. Tosi also worked at many unknown churches in the area, as well as Kansas, Minnesota, Hawaii, and Iowa. On December 13, 2023, a grand jury indicted Tosi on multiple counts of the following crimes. You can read those because I can't read them on ScrewTube. Hey, what's up, D? What? Since his indictment, another victim, who is also a member of the church, has come forward with similar allegations. The abuse reported so far had occurred in Washington, Clackamas, and Marion counties between 2008 and 2016. As of now, all the victims have been Micronesian descent. When does the Pope speak out? Oh, he doesn't, but he speaks out against something else. We'll get to that later, too. Speaks for? So he can burn in hell. Get the wood chippers out. Texas man strikes, kills pedestrian who landed inside the car, drives 38 miles with body in passenger seat, say police. White Settlement, Texas. Please have. Is there a place called White Settlement, Texas? That's. I'm not laughing at it. Have provided additional details regarding a crash that resulted in the death of a Dallas pedestrian over the weekend. Nestor Joel Luan Flores was apprehended on Saturday night when discovered unconscious in a restaurant parking lot, his car containing a deceased individual nearly 40 miles away from a crash scene. On Monday, White Settlement Police released more information, including the original 911 call related to the incident. Where's the... I'm trying to look for the... Maybe it's this one.
Thank you, Sheriff. And, let me just first start by saying what a great honor to unite all of our agencies together. We go out and about, and we certainly look for impaired drivers. Officers receive specialized training. We're committed to doing what we can. We take 911 calls that we receive when community members report egregious driving or what they feel like is an impaired driver. And that's what happened this past weekend. We received a call from a woman that was basically in the drive-thru, said the car is wrecked, and it appears that the driver was slumped over the wheel. And we responded, and as you know, it's been reported on, very tragic scene for our first responders, our police officers, our firefighters, our EMS personnel to have to deal with something like that. The status of that case is it's being transitioned over to the Dallas County Sheriff's Office. I've been in contact with their executive team. I've also been in contact with the executive team at the Dallas District Attorney's Office today. And we are hoping to get the prisoner, the inmate that's been charged in this case, over to Tarrant County Sheriff's Office so that he can be ultimately transferred over there to face those charges. And so with that, we continue to send the message. It's very frustrating. This is a case where the suspect was arrested by Plano in 2020, convicted in Collin County 2021, and here yet again, you're so impaired that you strike a pedestrian on a service road and you don't even realize it's a human
That's awesome.
being. I mean, that I can't fathom the level of impairment. And
That's what I'm
for him
saying.
To travel some 38 miles, and the car basically gave out, is how he ended up in our
No
community.
shit, really?
And I can't wrap my mind around that, and I don't think anybody can. And so that's why these types of events, standing in unity with our brothers and sisters in blue, to send the message that we're going to hold you accountable. The results are not back. There is some testing that occurs, and we'll provide that to the Dallas County Sheriff's Office. I can tell you that once we placed him in the backseat of our car, the officer commented that it smelled like a brewery in the backseat of his patrol car. So based on our observations at the scene, he was still impaired, even though it was hours later after this incident.
You're saying, Chief, that his car gave out. Is that the reason that this all ended in White Settlement?
There was a pool of radiator fluid. The car's got extensive engine damage. And so our belief is that the car would not start back up and continue further.
Any idea where he was going?
I have no idea. He lives in the city of Arlington. We know Arlington shared with us, based on license plate cameras, that he was heading eastbound towards the city of Grand Prairie. At some point entered the city of Dallas, and then the collision occurred in Dallas. Came back westbound on Interstate 30 and then took the Las Vegas Trail exit.
What can you tell us about the victim?
The victim is a 45-year-old man. They're still waiting to make contact with the victim's family. It is possible that the victim was standing at the intersection there at the service road at Cockrell Hill, and we'll relay back to the Dallas County Sheriff's Office on what they've been able to determine if there's video. But to our knowledge, he was standing near the intersection when he was struck.
Can you say?
All right, so that's enough on that. Yeah, apparently got hit, potentially intoxicated, and the driver drove to a white settlement. Interesting. As I said previously, breaking federal judge orders more than 150 names linked to a Jeffrey Epstein unsealed. 3 will remain sealed. And the first comment is always the damn best. The 3. The 3. Obama, Bush, and Clinton. You better believe it. Here's more reporting on it. It's supposed to be released on the 1st, January 1st. So we shall see. We shall see. Hopefully it's not bullshit. Hopefully it's not redacted, and hopefully we can. Oh yeah. Same difference. I didn't know it was going to trigger you that bad, or I wouldn't have done it. Now we'll go to one that's slightly less disturbing, because we have more disturbing ones coming up. Oh, that's what I'm saying. They'll all be redacted. It'll just be one big black paper. Georgia woman busted for using sex toy on the beach, found dead. So I mean, it's half. I mean, it's still a death, but it's not as bad. A woman initially apprehended for inappropriate behavior on a beach was discovered deceased 9 months later, as indicated by the coroner's report, which attributes her death to suicide. Body cam footage from police officers capture every moment they approached 35-year-old realtor Christina Rebels Glick Witnesses reported observing her engaging in inappropriate activity with an adult toy on the beach, leading to her arrest. Revels Glick explained to police that she believed she was alone during the incident. Subsequently, she experienced a significant decline in mental health, ultimately culminating in a decision to end her own life. Yeah, it was surprising, but it's not as wood chippery, is what I meant. Wait, what? She deleted herself. She was embarrassed to pieces? Yeah. I'm not sure what she died from. As per the coroner's finding, the cause of death was determined to be a gunshot wound to the head. That'll do it. With the manner of death officially certified as suicide, Gareth White, a neighbor, allowed local authorities to access the 35-year-old's apartment. White told Inside Edition it could have been handled a lot differently. Look what it led to, somebody taking their life. A family member of Daily Mail. She had a good life for a while. Drove a BMW, had a nice house, but she was wild. She got in trouble. She went to prison in Florida, got herself arrested. Her husband took her back after all that, but she was just wild. Somebody using a sex toy on the beach should not be a death sentence. I assume this is the original, not the...
How you doing, man? I'm Officer Dollar with IP. Can we speak to you for a second? We'll get you over there. Go ahead and bring your stuff.
Yeah, can I ask what the problem is?
All right, so someone called us. We got multiple calls about you. About something pertaining on the beach. Yes. Were you supposed to be, were you doing something you weren't supposed to be doing?
What?
Like, what were you doing on the beach? Like, prior to coming here? Prior to coming here.
There was nobody. I was just sitting on my tail. Nobody was around me.
Okay, and you were over at the beach?
Like I was near the water.
Near the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did I do? What did I do?
So apparently you were masturbating on the beach.
Who hasn't, though? Am I right?
Who saw that?
I mean, a couple people.
No, they
families.
didn't. That's not true.
Why would they call us?
Nobody was around. It was an anonymous call. Is this one of my buddies? Okay,
No,
one of my buddies.
No, it's not one of your buddies. It's a family.
Okay, look, let me show you what I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anything in the bag?
No.
Is it right if I look through it? I mean, if you can open it and can I see the contents inside the bag?
Yes. Okay. I don't really understand what y'all are.
We're just here because someone called and we're very concerned. Okay.
This is really highly offensive to me.
I got it. I got you. And that's why I'm trying to figure it out.
It's my vibrator, but I just put it in my. I was sitting on the beach, and I just. Okay. Do I get a ticket?
So you did have a vibrator.
Listen, I was sitting on the water like this, and I just put it in there, and it was covered up, and I just had an orgasm. I'm sorry, I was stressed out.
I got you. Okay, just hang tight for me.
I'm sorry, nobody saw me. I was in the water. Okay, so what? If this is anonymous call,
Yeah, that sounds like some
if nobody
bullshit.
saw them, they wouldn't have called, right?
man, please don't do this to me. Are you serious?
Yeah, don't talk to the cops ever.
A family saw it. They had kids.
What? There was nobody around me.
So.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like some horse shit.
It's a bullet style. That's what they call it. Oh, Jesus. Knows you going through it. You logging everything. She admitted to it. She said she had an orgasm on the beach.
Fuck that.
All that other good mess. So, yeah. All right. Cool. Someone saw it. So that's why.
Oh, that was bullshit. Deny. Yep. Deny everything. Well, that's an individual choice that I'm not going to advise you on. But I don't see a problem there. I really don't. I know that I don't see a problem there. Like if she was actively naked, like, yeah, I don't see an issue there. That seemed kind of like bullshit to me, but yeah, if you see it, just leave. Yeah, and again, it didn't sound like she was being overt, like, I don't know, overly. I don't know. That one seems like a lot of bullshit to me. it's a cop's personal decision to push forward or give her a ticket or nothing. Right. You just say, hey, you've been drinking, go home. Like, let's not do this again. Blah, blah, blah. It is. And it's unnecessary. Yep. Right on to the next one. It is as stupid as taking a piss behind a tree. Teen accused of planning massacre at Ohio synagogue ordered to write a book report. Yeah, probably. And in my opinion, it's completely unnecessary. Like, whatever. It is. It is very. A guy wanking in public is completely different than putting a vibrator between your legs. %100 different. A family court judge has ruled that a 13-year-old boy arrested for planning a mass shooting at an Ohio synagogue will be required to write a book report on the Swiss diplomat Karl Lutz, who saved over 62,000 Hungarian Jews during World War II. The juvenile, whose identity is protected due to age, faced charges of misdemeanor inducing panic and misdemeanor disorderly conduct for allegedly plotting a terror attack on Temple, Israel, in Canton. The plan was reportedly shared on Discord, an online platform associated with previous mass shooters. Stark County Sheriff's Office uncovered the plot September 1st as per court filings. The teen pleaded true, the equivalent to guilty to all charges. Family court judge Jim James sentenced him to a year of probation, mandated the reading of a book on Karl Lutz, and required a subsequent report. Additionally, the teenager is prohibited from unsupervised internet use and must continue therapy sessions with a licensed therapist. Originally set for a pretrial hearing on Wednesday, the proceedings were canceled due to the agreement. The arrest occurred before the Hamas terrorist attack on Israel on October 7th. Right. I have jokes, but I'm not going to make them. Come to my Discord later to hear them. That's kind of ridiculous. And I don't think it's a deterrent. Seems a bit light. Did he have access to weapons? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we said that. Breaking, and this is breaking a couple nights ago. We talked about it in that same Discord. Fort Lauderdale Airport is being evacuated for an unspecified incident. Currently, reports of heavy law enforcement and other agencies are on scene at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport as evacuations are underway due to an unknown, unspecified incident. Airport security and police are advising everyone to avoid the terminal and lobby. This is still developing, and we got an update a little bit later. Oops. Officials confirm there's an ongoing incident. Airport officials say it was due to a bomb threat. A male suspect has been taken into custody for questioning while a bomb squad continues to investigate. The entrance to departures roadway is temporarily closed for law enforcement investigation. Officials say motorists can still access the lower levels arrivals road, but many flights have been delayed due to the bomb threat incident. It was a Florida man. So allegedly he went through the clear pre-check and he had a knife and made a bomb threat after he got caught and blah, blah, blah. So on and so forth. But they received normal, sorry, Neo. They've received return to normal operations. So, all right. I even went to sleep early last night. I was tired. It's cold. There, I muted that time. Prominent trans LGBTQ activist charged with rape of children in Philadelphia. Trigger warning, and also, is anyone shocked? I'm not. Philly, a well-known LGBTQ plus activist in Philadelphia, Kendall Stevens, who was taken into custody Monday following accusations of assaulting 2 kids. The Pennsylvania Attorney General brought forth charges against the 37-year-old activist. The Pennsylvania Police Special Victims Unit initiated an investigation into reports of assaults involving 2 minor children in September 2023. Stevens faces charges including 2 counts of rape, assault, endangering the welfare of a kid, corruption, and other related offenses. A judge has set her bail at $250,000, and her next court appearance is scheduled for December 29. The activist gained prominence with news outlet WPVI in August 2020 after allegedly being attacked in her Point Breeze neighborhood, which she attributed to being targeted for being a trans woman. Following the incident, Stevens emerged as a notable advocate for the LGBTQ plus community. She actively campaigned for legislative changes, urging lawmakers to amend Pennsylvania's hate crime statute to encompass protections for LGBTQIA plus 2 heart 3 dong, left, right, up, down, circle, square, box.
I will never apologize for standing up for an LGBTQ2 plus kids' rights.
Thank you, Justin Turdo. I appreciate your input. You're a welcome member of this community. Right, Digger? All right. Doctor obsessed with his own medical theories, sentenced for fatally poisoning wife. Yep. Oh, really? Okay. This one's a long one, so we're gonna skip down to the end. But beginning in summer 2017, Harris determined with no medical basis and despite multiple negative tests, Tammy had mercury poison. He dosed her with extraordinarily high levels of selenium, which eventually led to her death. In January 2018, Harris flew Tammy, who at this point weighed less than 80 pounds, to New York City to visit an alternative medical center in Midtown Manhattan, run by a doctor Harris admired. Testing done at the center came back negative for mercury poisoning, but showed an enormous amount of selenium in her blood, more than 10 times the reference range. On February 22nd, 2018, Tammy's heart failed in the Palace Hotel where they were staying. She was rushed to Lenox Hill Hospital, where she died 6 days later at 55 years old. So this guy tried to be alternative healing doctor, and she ended up suffering with her life. It's unfortunate, but pick your partners more wisely. That's all I got to say. So breaking tonight, footage released of the Prague shooter opening fire from the rooftop of Prague University. So we'll watch this short. Well, this is about a 5-minute video. And then there's, actually we'll go over here first. David Kozak, 24, named as gunman who left 15 dead in horror Prague shooting. As chilling video emerges of people jumping off ledges to escape the massacre. So this is allegedly the gentleman. Shooter on the roof. There's his firearm. So here's, I think these are kids from the university that are on the ledge. Yeah, students from the university on the ledge. Bunch of people running. This is where we're looking at here. You have a bunch of stuff blocked up, blocking the doors so they can't get in. Distress members in foil. Police officer. So, body of shooter's father is found in village 10 miles from Prague. Shooter opens fire at Prague's Charles University Faculty of Arts. Students barricade themselves in classroom and cling on the outside of the school. Police evacuate building. People flee with hands above heads. And at 3:20, police find the body of the shooter on the sidewalk. That's crazy. Kids fleeing. Daily Mail has way too many ads, but they have probably the most comprehensive set of pictures I saw out of anywhere. This update says 15. Pretty fucking intense. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, generally lacks. Yeah, don't want another Russian invasion. Yep. I'm not sure. No worries, we got there. Same with Italy and Austria. Yeah, wow. No, that was some crazy footage, so so obviously we don't condone mass shootings, and the guy's a fucking coward, and I'm glad he's dead. But yeah. So we're gonna move on to something just a little bit lighter. This was allegedly 2 years ago, and it's a plane that had one hell of a pilot that avoided the crash. So we're going to watch a short
moment when
video.
two planes nearly collided at the Steamboat Airport nearly 2 years ago. The pilot pulling up so fast the tail of the plane actually dragged on the runway.
And tonight we're learning more about that interaction that took place between the pilots from an NTSB report just released today.
Crazy.
Fox
He
31's
drugged the
Rogelio Mares
tails so
joining
they
us in
could
studio all new at 9.
slow down and
Rogelio.
not get
Yeah, guys, one aircraft nearly collided head-on with another. That crash, though, thankfully was avoided. One craft.
It's just for the video. I don't want to listen to this asshole, but yeah, pretty intense. Good piloting work. It was a small airport where they didn't have an ATC, so they had to communicate with themselves and with each other. So good job. Good job. Yeah. Yep. So good job on the pilot, but they probably should have communicated a little bit better. Like I said, that was about 2 years ago in Colorado. So moving along, fresh spinach recalled across 7 states due to listeria. So they recalled it. 2 recalled spinach items were distributed to retailers in 7 states, including Alabama, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. And looks like they were Public spinach and Fresh Express spinach. So if you have any of that specific product, take a look. And so if you have any of that product, definitely take a look. Listeria concerns. We have one more recall to cover real quick. Quaker Oats recalls some granola bars and cereals nationwide over salmonella. And again, here's our products listed below are sold throughout the 50 United States, Puerto Rico, Guam, and Saipan. Customers should check their pantries for any products listed below and dispose of them. To date, Quakers received no confirmed reports of illnesses related to the products covered in this recall. Quakers informed the FDA of our actions. Only recalls to this specific product. Quaker Big Chewy Bars chocolate chip. And these are the sizes and UPCs. Actually, I'll throw this in the. I'll throw the entire thing in Discord, just so you can check it, because there are a lot of products. A lot of products. Well, you know what? I'll throw it in Discord, and then I'll also, if you're a frequenter of those kind of Quaker bars, here's the PDF for a list of all the recalls. So, if you're a frequent purchaser of that product, you should probably take a look at the recalls, because, like I said, there are quite a few. And it continues, and it continues. So, bought Kroger granola bars, not Quaker. Well, that's good. But yeah, definitely check them out. And if you purchase any of those products, I linked the FDA fact sheet for what was recalled. All right, so we're going to watch another video that was sent in after we discuss this real quick. The Pope formally approves same-sex blessings, said people shouldn't be subject to exhaustive moral analysis to get them. So the Pope supports the gays. He supports the gays. I don't know how you feel about that. Again, I'm not terribly religious. Not religious at all, actually. But let you guys discuss amongst yourself. I just wanted to pass that information on because I thought it would be. No idea what that means, but I agree. So apparently, yeah, I figured people would feel a certain sort of way about that, but yeah, so not my thing. Just wanted to pass it along. But Daisy Girl sent this in, so I wanted to play it. Santa overthrows the government, a Freedom Tunes Christmas special. Freedom Tunes, don't strike me, bro. We're on the same team, buddy. But these are all pretty funny. If you're not subscribed to Freedom Tunes, you should probably go take a look. They do some funny shit.
All right, everybody. Are you ready to review the tapes?
Time to see what really happened on January 6th.
Stop the steal! Stop the steal! Stop the steal! Stop the steal!
Christmas has been canceled after the January 6th tapes reveal that Santa was among those rioting at the Capitol during the January 6th insurrection.
Leaked phone calls confirm that Santa was motivated by a belief that Joe Biden stole the 2020 election.
I saw all of it! It's in my naughty list! If they get away with it, Trump will never beat the deep state!
He's a lunatic. This man needs help.
I'll help him do a punch in the face for hurting America!
This revelation, coupled with the ADL's 2018 decision to list Santa as anti-Semitic for not delivering presents to Jewish kids, casts further suspicion on all who celebrate Christmas.
We need to do something about these Santa-adjacent Christo-fascists. We've confirmed that just 12 days before January 6th, Santa visited the home of every single member of the Proud Boys and also broke into the home of every prominent Democrat in what we're now calling the December 25th pre-insurrection.
We must stop this terrorism. If elected, I vow to increase funding for the war on Christmas.
Oh, golly, we go live now to Santa's trial.
Doesn't Santa have a right to trial by his peers? What do these degenerate DC urbanites have in common with jolly old Saint Nick?
Christopher Kringle, if that is your real name.
Oh, it is. My question for you is whether you still remember the name Julia Markinov.
Huh? What? I don't know what you're talking about.
You dated for 6 months.
I don't remember.
Maybe you should check twice.
Case dismissed! Case dismissed! We will not be pursuing charges against one Chris Kringle. Merry Christmas!
What the hell is going on here? We are not letting this lunatic go! He's guilty, and the state is pressing charges!
Guilty? Me? Oh no.
Oh, what's that? Your naughty list?
Oh, no. In fact, some might say it's your naughty list, Mr. District Attorney.
You don't scare me.
Well, you certainly scare me. A man with this kind of browser history deciding the fate of thousands?
That's impossible!
Nothing's impossible with a little Christmas magic.
We're dropping all charges! We will not prosecute this man!
I'm afraid that won't be enough. You're sick men, both of you, and Santa wants to help you get better. Santa wants to help all of you get better. The FBI may have destroyed all the evidence on that little island,
That's enough. Take him out.
but I see you while you're sleeping.
What the?
And I know when you're awake. Santa can move very quickly, and so can his little helpers. This town has many secrets, but not as many as it thinks it does, because somebody has been watching all along, and the things he's seen have made it very difficult for him to remain jolly.
We find him guilty of subversion. We find him guilty of crimes against the people. We find him guilty of betraying the party. Guilty, guilty, guilty. He's too powerful. Our science can't rival his magic.
And what about his weaponry?
We don't stand a chance! His magical workshop elves carved each of those M4s with the spirit of love and good cheer!
And then scratch the serial numbers off. Cut the crap. I want to know who's supplying Santa's arsenal.
He's our only ally in that region. As soon as we confirmed his existence, we began supplying him with weapons and funding.
You fools!
And I've made great use of those stocking stuffers.
Well, I've got to hand it to you, Mr. Kringle. I was skeptical at first, but this country's in far better shape than it was before.
And now that I have the NSA under my control, I can far more accurately craft my list.
Yeah. Wait, I thought you saw everything before you overthrew the government.
Oh, no.
You mean you weren't able to see people when they were sleeping or know when they were awake?
Don't be silly. That's just to get children to behave. And they're behaving now, aren't they?
So how had you been making the naughty and nice lists we went to trial with?
I've mostly always just guessed.
How did you know the 2020 election was stolen?
Because it says on QPatriotNewsBlog.wordspot.net that they did it. Trump has secretly been president this entire time, and he's coming to save us. On January 12th, he's going to reveal he was secretly president this whole time. It's just a few weeks away. I just need to keep his seat warm until he decides to return to clean up the mess I didn't get yet.
No.
The entire cabal of lizard people. I can't identify all of them. We aren't finished with the executions yet, but...
How many innocent people have we killed?
Why are you doing this, Richard? So you can go back to being ruled by pedophiles?
I trusted you, Santa! I believed in you.
I know you did. You were on the nice list.
We never should have given you the power you had. I thought you really had something. It was just QAnon bullshit. That's why all those people had to die.
Richard, you ever notice the part of QAnon that upset the media the most of all is the part that says Trump is still president and not that pedophiles run the government? Is it because they know one of those things is true and it's not the one that frightens them?
Maybe Santa had a point. Everyone knows about Epstein's Island, and that all of our leaders were there, and every mention of it gets reduced to QAnon nonsense. But then I wonder, how much innocent blood was shed during our show trials? How many lives lost in the coup? I'm certain many of those executed were guilty, but we'll never know how much innocent blood has cried out to the ground for vengeance on our behalf. On that day, I vowed never to follow someone simply because they put words to my frustrations, to instead
Ho, ho, ho! I'll be back next year! Merry Christmas!
All right, that was great. That was great. Thank you, Daisy. That was incredible. All right. So moving on to other news. That was a good one. Breaking momentary power cut across New York City, then followed with light seen flickering for a few seconds. No reason has been provided by the New York City authorities. So this was last week, and we'll see. Explosion at Con Edison electrical substation causes widespread flickering lights across the city into New Jersey. Emergency personnel are currently on the scene after multiple reports of an explosion took place at Con Edison electrical substation in Brooklyn, New York. Numerous witnesses described seeing a green flash followed by widespread lights flickering across the city into New York, into New Jersey, with some residents experiencing power outages. Con Ed crews are currently investigating the issue. And we didn't get like a major update. They just said it was a substation explosion. Holy shit, Santa is Q. I didn't even think of that. So apparently this was kind of a big issue. It was resolved. But that's a lot of, yeah, there's a lot behind that. Potentially. Possibly. Well, I just read what it says. I just read what it says. I just read the prompter. Watch as a house explodes into the air in a fiery mushroom cloud, injuring 4 people. Witness the shocking footage captured on a Ring doorbell Tuesday morning around 12:30 a.m. as a house explodes, soaring into the air by a fiery mushroom cloud after a gas explosion in West Park, Florida. The blast had completely leveled and destroyed the house, including 4 people, with injuries ranging from significant to life-threatening. People are miles away, reported hearing a loud bang and feeling structures shake. Officials suspect a propane gas leak, the likely cause. At least 3 houses have been marked unsafe, 2 on either side of the home that exploded, and a 3rd across the street. So I think this is 7 weeks in a row that we've had a major house explosion. More than a coincidence at this point. It's been pretty consistent. Out of this stretch, I haven't heard houses exploding very often. Natural gas and bad and So, yeah, it looked like one hell of an explosion. Like I said, that's multiple weeks in a row that we've had a major house explosion. Breaking, multiple firefighters are battling. Sorry, I read it again. I'm sorry, Digger. I'll do better. Let's start over. Multiple firefighters are battling massive fire at an apartment complex that's under construction in Aurora, Colorado. Currently, multiple firefighters and other emergency personnel are currently on the scene of a significant fire that has erupted at a recently constructed apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. Authorities have declared it a 3-alarm fire on the 5-story apartment complex as dense, voluminous black smoke can be visible across from miles away from the Denver region, as well as the fire continues to spread. Police are asking everyone to avoid the area. Seems some significant fires as well. Looks like one hell of a fire.
Nobody in there, boy. Oh, me.
Oh, thank you.
I swear, I hope ain't nobody in there, boy.
No, that was the auto manufacturing plant in Detroit.
Got all this smoke, man.
I believe December 16th, so 5 days ago. So over the weekend.
Plans are just as high as the building itself.
Yeah. Like I said, there's been multiple weeks that we've had a bad fire and a house explosion. Kind of odd, if you ask me. So this one has been known to rile people up. I have an interesting take on it. Satanic Temple of Michigan put up Satan statue in front of the Michigan Capitol. Michigan Democratic staffer Samantha Skorka posted with it and praised it, calling it sexy before quickly deleting her tweet. The internet is forever. Michigan House Democrats support Satan. I agree. In the name of Satan, I claim the sexy satanic Baphomet goat altar at our Michigan Capitol. Amen. So if you're allowed religious freedom, I think that you should be able to put up a satanic goat altar. I don't think that free exercise of religion works for even religions you don't like, and they should be able to be compelled to put up a sexy satanic Baphomet goat altar on the Capitol grounds if others are allowed to put a Christmas tree or a menorah or XYZ. No, it's not edgy. I mean, they're trying to get a rise or trying to get some kind of something. But again, I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. I think that it's well within the rules. Well, it does explain Whitmer. She probably put the damn goat up, allegedly. I think they think they're going to. Isn't that the whole thing? No, like I said, it's just I report on it because it's here. It is mockery. But it's their form of religion, so it's just bait. Yeah, I'm okay with that. But just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to one. I think it's ignorant and stupid that they continue to do shit like that, but it's also their right. So, watch as a bizarre incident unfolds as someone dressed as a gingerbread man attempts to entry into strangers' homes in Arlington, Virginia. Some Arlington, Virginia residents were startled when the Ring doorbell cameras captured an individual in an inflatable gingerbread man costume attempting to enter their house. The footage shows the gingerbread man looking around, walking up to the door and attempting to open it. Witnesses reported that he stood there in his gingerbread man costume with someone likening it to a scene from a horror movie. Questions arise about the intruder's goal. Was it merely to check if someone was home or to gain entry? The unknown gingerbread man still remains at large. Can we have nothing sacred anymore? Now we have gingerbread man robbers. We could make a gingerbread man horror movie now. The clowns were creepy as shit. Possibly.
Mason Drive in Arlington.
My wife said, hey, listen, there's this guy. He didn't ring the doorbell. He's just standing there. He's in this gingerbread man costume. I'm like, gingerbread man?
What do you get?
This man, who asked us not to disclose his
I'm not good
identity,
at,
says they didn't know what to do.
Not good at rearranging letters.
We noticed like the door was trying to be pushed. We looked at the camera. I'm looking at this guy in the costume.
He felt like he needed to report it to someone, so we called the non-emergency police line.
Just told him, listen, I just want to report this. This is not an emergency, but some guy came with a gingerbread man costume. And they're like, a gingerbread man? I'm like, yes, a gingerbread man costume. I have the video.
Several neighbors told
He could have been
WUSC9
drunk
they saw
and just
the
looking for his
gingerbread man
house.
along George Mason Drive throughout the evening on Wednesday. And while he certainly
Pretty
didn't
racist,
run,
Fed.
he also wasn't caught. And it's left these neighbors feeling a bit unnerved.
It is kind of like a horror movie, but in this costume, this whole ordeal, what was the goal? Is it to just to...
Why has there got to be a goal? Maybe he was just
Mason Drive in
maybe he was just drunk. I don't know. Oh, I get it now. No, I had it the whole time. And I forget the movie, but I know what you're talking about. I'm gonna play another clip from Tucker because this is he could have can't yeah, I mean he could have been just smashed come from the holiday Christmas party and then or the office Christmas party and just looking for his house, you know. So he hotboxed this ginger man suit. That'd be a great way of doing it. But I know that I played this several places. This is a different clip. This is him saying it again. But he's been on this, and I'm intrigued by it.
It's my personal belief, based on a fair amount of evidence, that they're not aliens. They've always been here, and I do think it's spiritual. That's my view. So, and again, it's not provable, but based on the evidence, I think
I'm with you.
absolutely. If the U.S. government has in fact had direct contact with these beings, whatever they are, I've already told you what I think they are, and has entered into some sort of agreement with them, which is the claim of informed people, I would say. Whether they're right or wrong, I can't say conclusively. But if that is
Fried
true,
chicken.
I mean, it's a very, very, very heavy thing.
Yeah, a lot of people say interdimensional beings.
Right. I want to ask: are angels and demons, or how would you describe these beings?
You know, these are, again, I'm getting into the realm of conjecture, so I just want to say that flat out.
Entity.
But one thing I know for a dead certain fact, having seen it, is that there is good and evil, that we are being acted upon at all times. And I think every person can feel that in himself. I mean, there are moments when you are moved to do things that are much better than you actually are, and that are also more evil and destructive
They're
than
among
you
us.
actually are. You are subject to forces from outside yourself. That is absolutely true. Now, we can argue about what they are, but every person in the room, if he's reflective, will tell you, yes, I know what you're talking about. And so there are forces that are not human, that do exist in a spiritual realm of some kind, that we cannot see, and that when you think about it, sort of make you think we live in an ant farm.
Yeah.
Being right. And that's
Absolutely.
that is real.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's many.
Oh, Tucker just said cannot see. Is that a Canadian? Is that a Justin Trudeau? A cannot see? Anyways, so that's the general news. Now we moved on to spaceflight news. There is the big, beautiful Booster 10 from SpaceX. Brand new ship, getting ready for launch. Gateway to Mars. There is Ship 28, Booster 10. Those will be the next flights. The mover or the crawler, they put Christmas lights, Christmas tree, and a blow up Frosty the Snowman. So, and that's apparently the new sign. I gotta get back down there. Maybe I'll try and go see the next one. Also in SpaceX, undocking confirmed of SpaceX's CRS-29 Dragon is currently en route to Earth, set to splash down off the east coast of Florida. Carries precious scientific cargo, including data assessing how cells respond to gravity, plants, genetic adaptations in space, and more. So we'll watch the undocking. This happened around 5 o'clock. We saw this launch a couple days ago, or a couple weeks ago.
Dragon separation confirmed.
And Dragon has separated from the International Space Station at 4:05 p.m. while flying off the southwest coast of Chile.
So that is the undocking procedure from the International Space Station. Also, just a tip, yeah. For those who didn't know, today is a very special day for SpaceX. And I'm excited. 8 years ago today, SpaceX successfully landed an orbital class rocket for the first time. Since that time, SpaceX has landed Falcon rockets more than 250 times and counting. So we'll watch their little promo video. But congrats to SpaceX. 8 years since the first orbital class rocket was landed.
Stage 1 boost rack is starting.
I love how excited they get. They still get excited when it happens. We still get excited when it happens.
Spacecraft 1 and 2 have been deployed. Final orb complement deployed.
People said you can't land an orbital class rocket booster back on Earth. SpaceX said, hold my beer. We can't let them get away without showing the other video, though. So this is how not to land an orbital class rocket booster. just not one page. Entropy is such a low mover. So thank you for that, SpaceX. And so the last item of business, launch schedule. We have a busy launch schedule coming up. So we have Falcon 9, Sarah 2 and 3 out of SLC 4E out of Vandenberg Space Force Base scheduled for tomorrow, December 22nd, but we don't have a launch time yet. We have Alpha Fly the Lightning from Firefly Aerospace, which is a new company that I haven't covered yet. Absolutely. So Fly the Lightning is from Firefly Aerospace, and they have not had a good track record, so that might be a fun one to watch, but that one's going to be a late one, 9:18 Pacific time, 12:18 Eastern. So I will definitely cover that one. At pretty much the same time, we should have another Falcon 9 Starlink 6-32 from the Cape. And then we have these two that have been pushed back, as we saw. December 28th, Falcon Starlink 7-9 from Vandenberg. And USSF 52 Falcon Heavy, the much anticipated X-37B orbital test vehicle mission, is scheduled sometime between 7 and 11 p.m. Eastern Time on December 28th. Could be pushed back again. And then the last one that we may have this year is this Falcon 9 Ozon 3 that will be dependent on the Falcon Heavy and the Falcon 9 6-32. So if they put both of those up, we could see this one before the end of the year, this Ozon. If not, it will be pushed back until January of 24. Then we have a bunch that are coming up in January. Axiom 3, which will be a crewed mission. Vulcan Centaur, coming up in January. Falcon Heavy 20. USF 51 off an Atlas 5. So we have some fun space travel coming up. And of course, I'll cover every single one of them. So that is going to be it for the news roundup tonight. Thank you all for stopping by. Thanks, Flux, for the raid. And yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. Tomorrow will be game night at Cheney's. I also have a video coming out at 1 tomorrow. Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to think. Saturday morning, be with Alternate Corner. Saturday night, Brian S. and I will be discussing light speed and having a debate back and forth. He's going to get his chemist ass whooped all over the stage. Because don't fuck with me in physics. And then Sunday, it's still up in the air. So I don't know if I'm going to do show Sunday or save it till next week. We'll see. Until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will catch you again very soon. Have a good night, y'all.